Today we'll be adjusting valves on an SSR125 motor. I've pulled the caps off here. They're a 17 millimeter cap on the top of this motor here. This is where you adjust the valves clearances at. And then what you also got to do is pull this side cover here. Your chain comes in right here. We got several 8 millimeter bolts that we've loosened up here. We'll pull off this cover. And this is how you're going to find top dead center. And you can also pull the spark plug here and shine a light down in there to see when you find that when your motor's at top dead center there. But the best way to do it is find the T and the F on your flywheel here and line it up. There's a little groove on your crankcase here, and you just line those up. And it's about straight up and down, but there's a little groove on the inside of your case there. And in this case, we have to hold it here when we go to adjust these valves, because it will not stay in one place. So I'm going to grab a 9 millimeter wrench and loosen these. And what you can do before you loosen them, now your valve specs is going to be right here. So we've got 0.003 for the intake, 0.005 for the exhaust. And that's about standard for most bikes in that range there. But go ahead and loosen that valve, that lock nut there, and then grab your feeler gauges here. And what I like to do is stick that feeler gauge in there and then screw down your adjusting screw until it hits that feeler gauge. And you want to make sure there's some pressure on that feeler gauge. You want to be able to move that feeler gauge back and forth, but also you don't want it too loose in there as well. So I like to leave my feeler gauge in there, and I take and I spin this, and I watch that adjusting screw right there to make sure that it is not turning. And if it does turn even slightly, it'll be too tight. So just kind of keep an eye on that, and then go ahead and check it once you adjust it. So you want to make sure there's some pressure in there, make sure it's not too loose, but make sure it's not too tight as well. The next thing you can do is just grab the next size bigger feeler gauge, stick it in there. If you can get that in there, then your valves are too loose. If you can't get it in there, then it's probably perfect. So go to the exhaust side then, do the exact same thing. And then I guess I did tell you we need to hold this flywheel. It probably won't make a huge difference, but if it spins too far, it will. So you can just check it there. If you can multitask and hold that where it needs to be and slide it in there. Your exhaust can be 0.005. Find that on your feeler gauges here, and then do the exact same process. Stick it in there, turn that to where it needs to be, and make sure there's some drag. Again, make sure there's not too much drag, and wiggle it back and forth, adjust it if need be. That's how you adjust valves on an SSR125.